A Radio Canada investigation may have you thinking twice the next time you're at the grocery store. Hidden cameras reveal that fresh packaged meat may be older than the labels suggest.
Your neighbor pays triple what you do for meat and thinks she's winning. She's not. The dirtiest secret in the grocery industry isn't price. It's what happens between the slaughterhouse and your shopping cart. 7 stores are doing something the others refuse to do. 7 others are hiding something you'd never buy if you knew. Americans spend more money at Walmart than any other grocery store on the planet. And honestly, that's terrifying when it comes to their meat. Look, I get it. The prices are low. The locations are everywhere. You can grab steaks while buying socks and motor oil. Convenient? Absolutely. But here's the thing nobody tells you. Walmart's meat often sits in distribution centers way longer than competitors because they're obsessed with keeping prices at rock bottom. Turnover takes a back seat. Your ribeye might have been on a truck for days before it even reached the shelf. And those in-store butchers? Gone. Most Walmart locations axed them years ago. So you can't ask where your steak came from. You can't get custom cuts. What you see wrapped in plastic is what you get. Take it or leave it. But here's where it gets sneaky. That enhanced meat you're buying? It's injected with saltwater solutions to add weight. You're literally paying meat prices for liquid. My grandfather would have called that highway robbery. He wasn't wrong. Customer surveys consistently rank Walmart's meat freshness near the bottom compared to other national chains. And if you've ever noticed that pool of liquid at the bottom of the package, yeah, that's a red flag. It means the meat's been sitting there too long. Fresh meat doesn't leak like a broken faucet. Volume doesn't equal quality. Never has. Walmart moves more groceries than anyone, but moving product fast and moving product fresh are 2 very different things. Now, you might think other big chains do better. Some do, but one major player might actually be worse. Safeway operates over 900 stores across America. Sounds impressive, right? Well, here's the problem. Walking into one Safeway is nothing like walking into another. I've personally visited Safeways in 3 different states. One had a butcher who knew every cut of beef by heart. Another had tumbleweeds rolling through the meat section. Okay, not literally, but you get the idea. Some locations have full-service butcher counters with actual humans who can answer your questions. Others? Just rows of pre-packaged meat and nobody in sight. It's like a grocery store lottery, and you never know which version you're getting. Now, let's talk about their Rancher's Reserve brand. Fancy name. Sounds like cowboys personally selected your steak at sunrise. But here's the truth. It's basically their regular beef wearing a cowboy hat. Same quality, higher price tag. Marketing magic at its finest. And speaking of prices, Safeway runs about 15 to 20% higher than Walmart. You'd expect better meat for that premium, right? Not really. The quality bump is barely noticeable. Then there's the recall history. Safeway has dealt with multiple contaminated ground beef incidents over the years. That raises some serious questions about how carefully they're checking their suppliers. The strangest part is hearing completely opposite reviews from people in the same city. One person swears by their local Safeway's steaks. Their neighbor thinks the meat department should be condemned. Same chain, same town, wildly different experiences. Shopping at Safeway feels like rolling dice with your dinner. But Safeway isn't the only chain where what you see isn't quite what you get. Kroger is America's largest traditional grocery chain. They're everywhere. And their meat? It's fine. Not great, not terrible. Just fine. Here's the thing about Kroger. They offer 3 tiers of beef quality, which sounds impressive until you realize the lowest tier dominates most of the shelf space. The good stuff exists, sure. You just have to hunt for it like you're searching for matching socks in a teenager's bedroom. Now, credit where it's due. Their home-style ground beef actually gets ground fresh in-store daily. That's a genuine win. Most chains ship in prepackaged tubes that have been sitting around longer than your uncle's fishing stories. But then there's the chicken situation. Up to 15% of what you're paying for might just be added solution. Water, salt, whatever they're pumping in there for moisture retention. You wanted chicken breast, not chicken soup. The pricing gets weird too. Kroger's store-brand meat seems affordable at first glance. Then you check the sale flyers at other stores and realize their discounted name-brand cuts beat Kroger's regular prices. Makes you feel like you've been doing math wrong your whole life. And the employees? Look, they try. They really do. But most received basic training, not butcher school. Asking detailed questions about cuts is like asking your GPS for relationship advice. You'll get an answer, but it probably won't help. Kroger lands squarely in the middle of the pack. Reliable, available, convenient. Just don't expect magic. Speaking of expectations, the next store on our list built its entire reputation on low prices. But those savings come with some strings attached. Food Lion wants to be your budget-friendly neighborhood store. And hey, saving money sounds great. But sometimes cheap comes with a hidden price tag. The chain built its entire reputation on undercutting competitors. That's their whole thing. Problem is, their meat department takes most of the hit to make those low prices happen. Here's what nobody tells you at checkout. Food Lion sources much of its beef from suppliers that wouldn't pass the sniff test at premium stores. Literally. These are lower-grade operations that bigger chains won't touch. And the safety record? Not exactly reassuring. Their ground beef has been involved in multiple E. coli recalls over the years. One major incident spread across several states. That's the kind of deal nobody wants, no matter how cheap the price per pound. Now, here's something sneaky. Ever notice how meat at Food Lion looks especially red and fresh? That's not an accident. They use darker-colored trays and strategic lighting to make everything appear better than it actually is. It's like putting Instagram filters on your hamburger. Flattering? Sure. Honest? Not so much. Always check those sell-by dates carefully, too. Food Lion pushes expiration dates right to the limit. What looks fine today might smell like regret tomorrow. And forget about asking for custom cuts. Most locations don't have actual butchers on staff anymore. What you see wrapped in plastic is exactly what you get. No trimming, no deboning, no special requests. Take it or leave it. My grandmother always said you get what you pay for. She wasn't wrong. But warehouse stores promise savings and quality. Can they actually deliver both? Sam's Club looks like a meat lover's paradise. Giant packs of ribeyes, massive trays of ground beef, prices per pound that make regular grocery stores look like robbery. But here's the thing about bulk buying meat. Those savings can backfire fast. First, let's talk about what's actually in those packages. Sam's Club gets their meat from the same suppliers as Walmart. Same parent company, same sourcing. So that 10-pound tube of ground beef? It's coming from the exact same places that stock the Walmart meat case. Now, the quality grades. Yes, they sell choice beef. But choice is a range, not a single standard. Sam's Club meat tends to sit at the lower end of that choice designation. Technically accurate labeling. Practically disappointing steaks. Here's where bulk buying gets tricky. You grab that massive pack, wander around the warehouse for 45 minutes, looking at inflatable kayaks you don't need, wait in the checkout line, drive home in summer heat. That meat has been slowly warming up the entire time. By the time it hits your freezer, you've already shortened its lifespan. And speaking of freezer time, unless you're feeding a football team, half that bulk pack ends up with freezer burn before you ever cook it. Those savings just got tossed in the trash. They're rotisserie chickens? Popular for a reason. But also popular because they're a clever way to sell birds getting close to their expiration date. Nothing unsafe. Just something to know. Oh, and don't forget the membership fee eating into whatever you think you're saving. But warehouse shopping doesn't have to mean compromise. Coming up, a warehouse store that actually delivers on quality. Albertsons wants you to believe you're shopping at a premium grocery store. Their prices certainly suggest it. But here's the uncomfortable truth. You're paying steakhouse prices for cafeteria quality. Walk into most Albertsons locations, and you'll notice something feels off about the meat department. Many of these stores were bought from failing chains years ago. The refrigeration units? Old. The display cases? Dated. It's like buying a luxury car that still has the previous owner's engine problems. And good luck finding someone to help you. Their butcher counters are chronically understaffed. When you finally flag someone down, they're rushing through your order like they've got 3 other customers waiting. Because they do. Here's what really gets me, though. Ever notice how Albertsons meat is constantly on buy one, get one free deals? That's not generosity. That's a red flag. It means their regular prices are inflated specifically, so those sales look impressive. You're not getting a deal. You're just paying what the meat was worth all along. Then there's the weight issue. The chain has caught heat for short waiting packages. Basically, the label says one thing, but the actual meat weighs less. Not exactly the kind of surprise you want at the checkout. The merger mess makes everything worse. Albertsons has absorbed so many different grocery chains that nobody seems to know which suppliers are actually good anymore. Standards shift depending on which former company ran your local store. But if Albertsons feels inconsistent, wait until you hear about a regional chain where longtime customers are watching quality crumble in real time. Giant Eagle might not ring a bell if you live outside the Midwest or Mid-Atlantic. But for folks in Pennsylvania, Ohio, and West Virginia, it's everywhere. And longtime shoppers? They're not happy. Here's what's frustrating. 5 years ago, Giant Eagle had a solid reputation for meat. Now, customer complaints have skipped through the roof. We're talking grayish beef, funky smells, and packaging that looks like it's been through a rough week. What happened? Cost cutting. Plain and simple. The chain gutted their full-time butcher positions. Skilled workers who knew their craft got replaced with part-time employees who barely know the difference between a chuck roast and a ribeye. It's like replacing your mechanic with someone who just learned what a wrench is. Then there's their Nature's Basket organic line. Sounds fancy. Costs a premium. But independent testing found it's often no different from their conventional options. You're basically paying extra for a prettier label. And the ground beef situation gets worse. Some stores mix trimmings from multiple days together when grinding. So that fresh ground beef could be yesterday's leftovers hanging out with today's scraps. Appetizing, right? Their rewards program tells you everything about their priorities, too. You earn more fuel points buying processed junk than fresh meat. That's not an accident. The refrigeration issues customers keep reporting suggest deeper problems. When multiple people in the same store notice off-putting meat, that's not bad luck. That's a pattern. Regional chains should outperform national ones because they're closer to their communities. Giant Eagle missed that memo entirely. But not every smaller chain dropped the ball. Some actually raised their game. Now we're talking. Costco isn't just a warehouse store. It's where meat dreams come true. And yeah, I know that sounds dramatic, but hear me out. Most grocery stores buy meat from distributors who buy from other distributors who maybe know a guy who knows a rancher. Costco? They cut out all those middlemen and buy directly from the source. Fewer hands touching your steak means better quality and lower prices. Simple math. Here's what blows my mind. Their beef is almost exclusively USDA Prime and Choice. We're talking prime steaks that cost less than choice steaks at regular grocery stores. That's like getting a luxury car for the price of a sedan. My wallet still doesn't understand how they pull it off. And unlike most warehouse stores, Costco actually employs real butchers. Not teenagers who got handed an apron yesterday. Actual trained butchers who can custom cut your meat if you ask politely. Just walk up to the counter and make a request. Most people don't even know this is an option. Their famous $4.99 rotisserie chicken? It's a loss leader. They literally lose money on every single bird just to get you through the doors. That's commitment. But the real difference is what's not in their meat. Costco refuses to pump their chicken full of water or salt solutions. The weight on that package is actual chicken. Revolutionary concept, apparently. Ranchers actually compete to earn contracts with Costco because their standards are that strict. But warehouse stores aren't your only option for premium meat. The Southeast has a grocery chain that takes customer service to another level entirely. Now, here's where things get really good. Publix operates mostly in the Southeast, and honestly, they've turned meat shopping into something people actually look forward to. That's not a joke. Customers rave about this place, like it's a theme park for groceries. Every single Publix location has trained butchers on staff, real ones, and they'll trim, debone, or custom cut any piece of meat you want, for free. No awkward asking, no extra charge, no attitude, just hand them a roast and tell them what you need. Their GreenWise line offers antibiotic-free and organic options that are actually verified by third-party certifiers. Not just fancy words on a label. Someone independent checked the receipts. But here's what separates them from the pack. Publix ages their steaks longer than most competitors before putting them in the case. This develops better flavor and tenderness. It's the kind of thing expensive steakhouses brag about, and Publix just does it quietly. The chain sources much of its beef from Florida and Georgia ranches. Shorter supply chains mean meat travels less distance. Less distance means fresher product on your plate. Simple math. And get this, employees are actually trained to pull meat approaching its sell-by date earlier than required. Most stores push that limit to reduce waste. Publix prioritizes freshness over squeezing out every last sale. My grandfather would call that good business sense. I call it rare. Makes sense why Southerners get weirdly defensive about their Publix, right? But if you think regional loyalty runs deep in the Southeast, wait until we talk about Texas. Texas does everything bigger. Steaks included. H-E-B only operates in one state. But honestly, they embarrass most national chains when it comes to meat quality. Their 1881 premium beef line sources exclusively from Texas ranches. We're talking steakhouse quality ribeyes sitting right there in a grocery store case, at grocery store prices. My cousin moved from Houston to Ohio and still complains about it 5 years later. Every single barbecue. But here's what really sets them apart. H-E-B owns their own meat processing facilities. That means they control everything from the ranch to your shopping cart. No mystery middlemen, no sketchy suppliers cutting corners. Just direct oversight at every single step. And the butchers? These folks aren't just package stackers. H-E-B employs more butchers per store than almost any competitor in the country. They'll tell you exactly how to cook that brisket, what temperature, how long to rest it. My uncle learned more from his H-E-B butcher than from 30 years of trial and error. Ground beef gets the special treatment, too. They grind it fresh multiple times daily. Not sitting in tubes for a week. Not shipped from some warehouse 3 states away. Fresh. That day. The weird part is, they keep prices reasonable despite all this quality. Makes you wonder what other chains are doing with their money. Texans who leave the state don't miss the weather. They don't miss the traffic. They miss H-E-B meat. That's not marketing speak. That's reality. Now, some people gladly pay premium prices for premium quality. And one chain built an empire on exactly that promise. Whole Foods has a reputation. Some call it Whole Paycheck for a reason. But here's the thing. That nickname might actually be outdated. Yes, prices run 30 to 50% higher than your average grocery store. That's just facts. But what you're paying for is genuinely different meat. Every single piece of beef, pork, and chicken in their stores must pass a 5-step animal welfare rating. This isn't some marketing gimmick they invented. Independent auditors actually visit the farms. They check how animals are raised, what they eat, how much space they have. Most grocery stores don't even pretend to care about this stuff. And Whole Foods was the first major chain to completely ban meat from animals given antibiotics or growth hormones. Back when they started this policy, people thought they were crazy. Now everyone's trying to copy them. They're butchers, actually trained. Like, really trained. Ask where your steak came from, and they can tell you the farm, the region, sometimes even the rancher's name. Try that at Walmart and watch the confusion spread across someone's face. The dry-aged steaks and specialty cuts at Whole Foods simply don't exist at most other stores. We're talking heritage breed pork, grass-fed lamb, stuff your grandmother couldn't find if she tried. Now, here's what most people miss. Amazon Prime members get serious discounts on meat. Those premium prices suddenly become competitive with regular grocery stores. It's like finding a secret menu nobody told you about. But if Whole Foods feels too fancy for your taste, there's an East Coast chain that might just outdo them entirely. Wegmans has a cult following on the East Coast, and honestly, it's completely deserved. This grocery chain tops customer satisfaction surveys year after year, not just for produce or prices, for meat specifically. And once you understand how they operate, you'll get why people drive an hour just to shop there. Here's what separates them from everyone else. Their butchers aren't random employees who got assigned to the meat section. They're certified professionals who complete actual apprenticeship programs. We're talking real training, real skills, real knowledge about every cut they sell. Their store-brand beef? It goes toe-to-toe with name-brand premium cuts, except it costs about 20% less than what you'd pay at a specialty butcher shop. That's not a small difference when you're buying steaks for the family. But the real showstopper is their dry aging program. Wegmans ages steaks in-house for 28 days. That's steakhouse treatment, right in a grocery store. Most chains won't even attempt this because it requires expertise and patience. 2 things that cut into profits. Walk up to their meat counter, and you can actually watch the butcher's work. No mystery, no hidden back rooms. Just skilled hands preparing your food right in front of you. My father would call that old-fashioned honesty. I call it refreshing. They also source from family farms whenever possible and publish supplier information. Want to know where your ribeye came from? Just ask. They'll tell you. Now, speaking of stores that punch above their weight, there's one small format chain doing something unexpected with their meat selection. Trader Joe's isn't trying to be everything to everyone. And honestly, that's exactly why their meat is so good. Walk into any Trader Joe's, and you'll notice something right away. The store is tiny compared to a Walmart or Kroger. But here's the thing about small spaces. They force you to be picky about what makes the cut. Pun intended. The chain focuses on fewer products done really well instead of cramming shelves with mediocre options. Your grandpa would call that common sense. Most businesses forgot it somewhere along the way. Now, the meat comes pre-packaged. No butcher counter here. But before you write them off, consider this. Those small stores are always packed with customers. The line at checkout wraps around faster than my uncle at a buffet. That constant traffic means meat flies off shelves quickly. Fresh stock comes in. Fresh meat goes out. Simple math. Here's where it gets interesting, though. Trader Joe's bans over 100 additives that other grocery stores happily pump into their products. 100. While competitors play chemistry experiments with your dinner, Trader Joe's keeps the ingredient list short. Their grass-fed beef costs about the same as regular beef elsewhere. Let that sink in for a second. Premium quality at standard prices. And don't sleep on the frozen section. I know, frozen meat sounds like giving up. But flash freezing actually locks in freshness better than meat slowly dying in a refrigerator case for days. It's like hitting pause on quality instead of watching it fade. Speaking of surprising finds, there's one more store that punches way above its weight class. Fresh Market is like that boutique clothing store your wife drags you to, except here, the quality actually justifies walking through the door. With only 160 stores, they're small compared to the big chains, but that's exactly why they're good. Fewer stores means more attention to each meat counter. Simple math. Here's what caught my attention. They refuse to use carbon monoxide on their meat. You know that gas that keeps steaks looking cherry red even when they're past their prime? Yeah. Fresh Market said no thanks. What you see is actually what you get. Their butchers aren't just package stackers either. These folks train on proper aging techniques and can tell you exactly which cut works best for your Sunday roast versus your weeknight stir-fry. I asked one about a brisket once and got a 15-minute masterclass. Didn't charge me a dime for the education. And the selection? Heritage breed pork, dry-aged ribeyes, hand-selected choice and prime beef cut to order. Most chains don't even know what half of this stuff is. The weird part is the pricing. You'd expect Whole Foods territory, but Fresh Market comes in noticeably lower while keeping quality neck and neck. It's like finding a luxury car at used Honda prices. Makes no sense, but I'm not complaining. Now, 160 stores means they're not everywhere. If you've got one nearby, though, your meat game just leveled up considerably. So there you have it. 14 grocery stores, 7 winners, 7 losers. Choose wisely, and your taste buds will thank you.